Hi everyone. So as you know from my previous video, I have started a BitChute channel now, and originally I was just going to give you a little update on how my channel over there is doing, and it's actually not doing too bad. I mean, sure, I have close to 10K subscribers on YouTube, and on BitChute, I only have 25 subscribers. But you got to keep in mind, the 10K subscribers on YouTube were accumulated over more than 10 years. Actually, by now it's actually close to, well, since the beginning of YouTube, so it's more than 10 years. Whereas the 25 subscribers on BitChute, were accumulated in just 2 months. So because I just started 2 months ago, and from zero, and now I have 25. So that's actually not too bad, considering that I just started. So originally I wanted to talk about that, but what I noticed is that the videos that are doing well on well, are basically the only videos from me that that are really popular on BitChute are the ones that could be considered conservative. I'm not a conservative. I would really consider myself neutral. But I am, as you probably know, I am against socialism, and so some of my videos that are against socialism, those could be considered maybe conservative, or are considered conservative, and those kinds of videos did really well on BitChute. But the others, not so much. And I quickly realized why, because I of course also started looking around on BitChute and watching other videos. And here, for example, this is just their spirituality and faith category, and they have actually some nice videos here. Here's a video, about Charles Darwin, and asking the question, could there have been some mistakes in his theory? And I kind of agree with that. There could have been some mistakes. So that's interesting, sure. And then you go, okay, what is this? Projecting hatred onto others. Well, I hope this is not about projecting hatred, but teaching you that you shouldn't project hatred against others. And here we have a video. What is this? This is just spirituality and faith. So this should be relatively free of politics, but strangely enough, even that category is not free of politics, and you can see pretty quickly in what direction this is going. And this isn't selected at all. It's just today's videos. So I'm not selecting anything here. It's just the spirituality and faith category and the newest videos in that category. But by the third video, it already gets pretty obvious in what direction this is going. John Cragen explains why Jews hate Jesus. Huh. And well, if you're still uncertain about what direction this is going into, well, it becomes pretty obvious by the fourth video, And remember, we're in the spirituality and faith category here, so we have a nice guided meditation with Hitler here. And you got to keep in mind that, yes, I am against socialism, but that, of course, also means that I'm against National Socialism. And yeah, well, so that explains why my videos against socialism are doing well on BitChute, but not any of my other videos. And On YouTube, I actually have more videos against socialism, and then I think on BitChute, if I continue at all, I'm probably gonna focus on videos exposing National Socialism, because uh, that's that's the that's the right audience, just there, but of course they're not gonna listen. So because as you can see here, we have the education category, and this is just the newest videos again, and here you here you can see again, by the fifth video. This is a nice title here, right? The American Dream. Yeah, sure, the American Dream is important, but the flag. I don't know what. I haven't seen that flag before. Interesting flag there. So and this seems to be a theme here. Here we have the newest videos in the category news and politics, and here's another video with another nice flag I haven't seen before. And you can you can probably kind of see in what direction this is going, right? And it becomes even more obvious if you actually go a little in that direction. And here I made a search for Jews, and here we have the first results are channels. So we have some nice channels here. Choose for Hitler, and that's the name of the channel. Interesting. Maybe we should look at those channels in a second. And Choose Are Gangsters. Also interesting title for a channel there. So, and then we have some video results. About Jews getting expelled, and we have Pizzagate. Okay, apparently that seems to have something to do with Jews. What do we have here? Gas chamber myth, 20th century hoax. Okay. What do we have here? Jewish Zionism. Maybe I should make this a bit bigger. Jewish Satanist. Then we have the video from before. Why Jews hate Jesus. Kill all Jews on Twitter. What? Uh, Starting a national that is a racial revolution. The Jewish World Wars. Vampire Jews attack Congress. Maybe I should make a separate video about that video. Seems like a really interesting title right there. The Treblinka archaeology hoax, radical agenda, free speech Nazis. I didn't know that Nazis supported free speech. Well, except maybe on BitChute, apparently. Trotsky is an evil Jew from the past. What do you mean from the past? Of course he's from the past. This doesn't even make any sense. On Freemasons and the New World Order, and apparently that also has something to do with Jews, because remember the search here is for Jews. Another free speech Nazi video. The Jews are our misfortune. Interesting. For those who don't know, that was actually the title of the Stürmer, which was the magazine published by the Nazis. Well, it wasn't the title, but it was on the title of it was the Stürmer. But on the front page of that magazine, of every issue, on every issue they ever printed, you have the slogan, "The Jews are our misfortune." And maybe I should mention that real quick. I I was of course concerned about this because you can see what direction this is going on here. You know, I mean, sure, free speech is great and all, but are you only giving free speech to Nazis? Aren't there any other people around here? I don't. I thought this was just a normal platform supporting free speech for everyone. Without specifically saying, well, here is a free speech platform for Nazis, you know. Uh, but apparently that seems what it has become. I mean, I'm not against free speech at all. Don't get me wrong, but if you really want to have a free speech platform, you should really target everyone and should get everyone involved and allow free speech for everyone. Oh, well, I guess it is allowed for everyone, but the only people that seem to come here are Nazis. So why aren't you attracting other people as well? Because obviously there is a bit of a bias here. I'm not sure if you're able to detect it. Uh, and of course, I then started bringing this up in the forums, in the BitChute forums, because it kind of bothered me a little. Have to be honest here. Uh, and of course, then they defended it with the same arguments that the Nazi used. Let's go back to the choose our misfortune here. Okay. Like I said, that was printed in every issue of the Nazi magazine, Die Stürmer. That was their slogan, on the front page of every issue. The choose our misfortune. Uh, so what happened then is then in the Nuremberg trials, the publisher of that magazine was indicted for genocide. And of course, he defended himself, saying, "What? What did I have to do with anything here? I mean, yeah, sure, I published a magazine that in every issue was all about spreading hate against Jews, sure, but that's I mean, I never killed anyone, right? I mean, I just spread the hate against the Jews, sure, but and Jews are evil monsters, sure, but uh, I didn't kill them. That's how he defended himself, and of course, yeah, that defense didn't really hold up, and they executed him. Uh, but it's interesting to see that that's exactly the same way that the users on BitChute um, defended their videos here, by saying, well, we're just publishing the video. We're not the ones killing anybody, right? But don't you see that there is a relation there? If you spread hate against Jews, then yeah, well, you can expect that might lead to hate against Jews, right? I mean, isn't that the purpose? If you paint Jews as those terrible monsters that would obviously be better off dead, then yeah, well, you might expect that some people, some of your audience, might actually believe that then and might actually do something about it. So how can you say that that this has nothing to do with your spreading of hate? I mean, isn't the violence a result of hate? How can you have violence if you don't incite people first? So how is the inciting of hatred not related to the actual hate crimes that might follow? So you really can't argue that just because you spread hate propaganda against religious minorities, this it doesn't have that you don't have anything to do with the atrocities that are then committed because of people believing such hate. um, because the people commit those atrocities precisely because they believe such hate. And that becomes pretty obvious if you have a look at the channel um, by the guy who made that vampire Jews video. And you can see here, his first video is the vampire Jew video, and then already his second video is a justification of what happened in Pittsburgh. I'm assuming it's a justification of the massacre of Pittsburgh. Um, I don't usually follow the news, so I don't really know what happened there. But I think I heard something about a massacre of Jews. Jews being massacred. And this is a justification of that, explaining, why the Pittsburgh synagogue was targeted. And he explains here already in the description, that it apparently was a good thing to have targeted that, because it was a anti white synagogue, and a major headquarter for the funding and coordination of the mass third world immigration to replace the white American people. So yeah. I don't know how, justifying a massacre like that, could in any way have anything to do with a massacre like that. So yeah, pretty weak argument. So of course I was very concerned about all this. He has also some other nice videos here, and this is just one channel, but as you can see from before, I when I showed you those other videos, I didn't pick anything in particular. You can see that yes, this is just one channel, but BitChute is full of such channels with such videos. Dr. Joseph Goebbels on fake news. Oh yeah, well, because he was such a great opponent of fake news, wasn't he? Yeah. Oh, look, here we actually have the old Nazi propaganda from Joseph Goebbels, because as we can see, he's the best opponent of fake news, so he speaks the truth. So of course his videos need to be on there as well. Triumph des Willens. Oh yeah, that's a famous one. That's the most famous one. Leni Riefenstahl. And then we have here. Oh, what do we have here? It's not the Zionists, it's the Jews. And we have some lovely, totally accurate depiction of Jews. That's actually also this picture up here. That's actually also a picture the Stürmer used, the Nazi magazine. They used a lot of pictures like that, and that's also one of them. They used that quite a bit, actually. So, yeah. So, oh, okay. Here, this is interesting. Oh, yeah, yeah. The infamous concentration camps in Great Britain. So you can see. He's not denying any concentration camps here. He's just reporting it like it happened. Because obviously it was the Britons behind all that, and of course it was the Jews behind the white genocide here, as we can see. So yeah, you can see this is all. Yeah, this because as you can see, it is obviously full of extreme right-wing propaganda. The kind of right-wing propaganda that really demonizes religious minorities. And I wasn't aware of that at first, because at first I didn't look at all the videos on there. I just thought, I was a bit naive. I just thought, hey, a great new free speech platform for anybody. But apparently it really is mostly a free speech platform for Nazis. who can then deny the Holocaust and slander Jews under the protection of free speech. So this was, I didn't, of course, it apparently that's what it has become already, But of course, that concerned me because I I don't want it to become that. I was still having the hope that BitChute could really be a free speech platform for anybody, not just for neo Nazis. So and of course I want to, I don't know what I'm gonna do about my channels, but originally I really wanted to continue my channels. I don't know if I will, because uh, obviously I don't endorse the other videos on there, and I don't want to be associated with that. It's fine if it's just generally a free speech platform, but if it's if it continues in the direction it's going, then it will inevitably become a free speech platform for Nazis only. So I don't want that to happen. So I brought up this issue in the forum, and here you can see my post. I made that post, just yesterday. And I just posted, what about people who deny the Holocaust? And then in my post, I'm just going to read this to you. In my post, I explained what I meant by that, okay? Uh, so I said, okay, this is a bit difficult for me to address. So I was really very polite and careful because I don't want to offend anyone. I don't even want to offend Nazis. So I was really being very polite in trying to bring this up. Okay. Like I said, I started. This is a bit difficult for me to address because I don't want to provoke anybody, but there really are disproportionately many videos on here that, just as an example, slander Jews and or deny the Holocaust. Now, despite my name, I felt I had to mention that because Nazis usually attack me because they think I'm Jewish. So I'm explaining that real quick, So I'm saying now, despite my name, I'm actually not Jewish, but 100% pure German. Never thought that I needed to actually say that one day to boost my credibility. Uh, but I do know that the Holocaust happened because my grandfather witnessed it and did nothing. And actually, I didn't write that here, but the reason he did nothing, he saw Jews being shot, being killed. He saw that. And I of course, asked him, so if you saw that, why didn't you do anything about it? Couldn't you have done anything about it? And well, admittedly, it would have been dangerous to try and save those Jews. He also admitted that he could have saved them if he really wanted to. So I asked him, so, well, why didn't you try to save them then? And well, yeah, he at first he didn't say that directly, but later on we had some more discussions about this, and it gradually became clear why he didn't save them. And the reason he didn't save them back then when he had the opportunity was precisely because he believed all the hate propaganda against the Jews that and it's actually the same kind of hate propaganda that is being spread on BitChute right now. And it's the exact same kind of propaganda from back then. They just warming it up again, and he believed all that. So you really can't say that this is unrelated. That this kind of hate propaganda never harmed anybody, and is unrelated to actually doing harm to human beings, because that was precisely the reason why my grandfather ignored those Jews being killed. Uh, so yeah, but that's just as an explanation for you. I didn't go into that much detail in the post. I just said that he ignored it. He did nothing. Um, then I explained that I believe him, because he wouldn't lie to me about that. Because if he were to lie, he would have denied that and denied his involvement instead of implicating himself. Um, but I actually like the fact, and here I'm trying to be nice again. I actually like the fact that I can have discussions with the neo Nazis on here, and that I can leave comments on their videos showing them that their denial doesn't make much sense, and they usually run out of arguments pretty quickly. And I actually did that. Yeah. But be that as it may, I still got to ask, are all those neo-Nazi videos slandering Jews and denying the Holocaust really okay with you guys? I mean, I get that this is a somewhat conservative platform, which is great, as there is definitely nothing wrong with that. But of course, anyone who is a conservative gets labeled a Nazi by the left. And that's gonna be especially true for a rising and increasingly popular platform that is seen as conservative. Again, I'm not actually conservative, but I'm just trying to be nice here, and at this point, I'm still assuming that it actually is a conservative platform. In my mind, I'm still thinking most of the guys on here are just conservative and not Nazis. So I'm trying to be nice to the conservatives, and there really is nothing wrong with conservatives, in my opinion. But as it turns out, no, most people on here really seem to be Nazis and not conservatives. Uh, yeah. So yeah, and then I was concluding, asking them, appealing to the conservatives. I thought that would be here. So I was asking them. So do we really want to give them, uh, meaning the left, do we really want to give the left a way of slandering BitChute, of easily slandering BitChute, by labeling it as a platform for neo Nazis? And this is the first reply I got. Yeah, I'm just gonna read it for you. It speaks for itself. I always look for facts, and the problem with majority and even the minority at times, all we hear is a sea of echoes that sounds like chickens clucking. Ever play the whisper game? That's where you get a bunch of people to stand in a line, and the first person whispers something into the next person's ear. Then they do the same to the next person. Everyone does that, repeating what they heard, till it reaches the last person that says that they heard out loud to see if it matches. Reaches the last person to say what they heard out loud to see if it matches what the first person said. Try it, and it will never be the correct word. That's what I think of society. Just a bunch of fuck ups that can't stick to the facts and keep things simple. Something I always like to remind everyone is that where there is smoke, there is fire. Meaning, no matter how much bullshit we see and hear, it all had to come from somewhere and has some piece of truth buried deep in it somewhere, no matter how warped and twisted it had become, much like the whisper game. You following me so far? So where am I headed with this? Well, you tell me. So all bullshit aside, just look for the facts. turns out that all the stories about the Holocaust keep changing. So that is where the skeptics started looking first. The places where the bodies were buried, they kept changing the signs on the wall to increase how many deaths took place, and they kept doing so with no supporting evidence. From there, the lies just continue. I have, uh, I have, I have video. He actually makes a lot of mistakes that kind of make him sound like an immigrant himself. But apparently there isn't too much difference between white supremacists and immigrants when it comes to grammar. Uh, I have video that can prove the Holocaust was lied about by Jews, but it doesn't prove it never happened. If anything, it just proves it was exaggerated. So, then here my reply, and I'm obviously a little puzzled because this wasn't the reply I was hoping for. So, so I go like, okay, it's becoming obvious that I actually hit on something here and that this really needs to be addressed somehow. Though I'm not gonna debate you here and now, as this wasn't meant to be a post about questioning the existence of the Holocaust. And I roll my eyes. If you want to actually debate me, though, and I'm being serious here, you are more than welcome. This is my YouTube channel, where I also sometimes do debates via live stream. Drop me a line on my YouTube channel and we can set something up, and it's gonna be fair and respectful, and everyone will get equal time to speak. That also kind of ties in with what my solution for this issue is. So, in case someone from BitChute is listening, I'm not necessarily proposing that you solve this issue by deleting videos that slander Jews and or deny the Holocaust. But you still have to deal with it somehow, because otherwise it's gonna come back to haunt you. Because what's gonna happen if you ignore it? It's gonna get more and more, and BitChute will slowly but surely get a reputation of providing a platform for neo Nazis. And at that point, all the people who are more moderate politically will leave BitChute because they, of course, don't want to be associated with neo Nazis. And on top of that, it might also get the side banned for people in Europe and other countries where denying the Holocaust is illegal. So you absolutely need to deal with this. But I realize that this platform is about freedom of speech. So if you don't want to delete such content, there is another way. Because actually, Nazis don't normally thrive in an environment of free speech. At least, not if they are not all by themselves. And there are other people who don't ignore it, and I hope BitChute won't, because you still gotta do something about it. And if you don't want to ban them, then you can use freedom of speech against them. How? Kinda like I did when I offered to debate, Project Live Command. That's the username of the guy who replied. Uh, Kind of like I did when I offered to debate Project Live Command just now. You know how YouTube used to have featured videos? You could, for example, feature a debate like that, and I'm confident that if the debate is fair and you have able speakers, the Holocaust deniers will run out of arguments after about 2 or 3 minutes. At least that's my experience. And that will also serve to show the people that you really are about freedom of speech for anybody and not just for Nazis. So yeah, I was really trying to be really nice, not excluding Nazis, but appealing uh, to the people on here that are not Nazis and that presumably don't want it to become a Nazi platform either. And I even explained that you don't have to ban the Nazis. Um, just really exercise your freedom of speech, and then you can make them go away as well. You know, yeah. But the problem here is that apparently there don't really seem to be people with an interest of keeping this, or there doesn't seem to be anyone here who who wants this to be a platform that is not run by Nazis, and that becomes pretty obvious if you look at the replies I got. Um, and as you can see, this is not. I'm not picking any replies here. Uh, I'm just reading the replies one by one. So um, here is the first reply I got to my reply. Um, a really lovely comment here. Emmanuel Goldstein, you speak like a grade A bullshitter. And then he's quoting me. Um, and then he says, I don't trust you have any intention of trying to address this profoundly important matter. Um, yeah, well, of course, he's saying that. You see, I was trying to address the problem of there being so many Holocaust deniers on here. I wasn't trying to address whether or not the Holocaust actually happened. That's not, I made it pretty clear that this isn't, my post here isn't supposed to be a debate on whether or not the Holocaust existed. I just wanted to bring up the issue that there are so many Holocaust deniers on here, and he kind of confused that, and he insists that I talk about whether or not the Holocaust existed, but I made it pretty clear that this isn't what I'm trying to bring up here. But I did offer him to debate me on my channel, and this isn't the original guy who replied, but of course I would debate him as well. So that offer, of course, stands, but of course I never heard anything from any of them. Yeah, well, I'm not shying away from a debate here, but it has to be structured, it has to be fair. Everyone gets equal time to speak, and I'm certainly not gonna do it in this post here because this is not what my post was about, we can, if he really wants to discuss this, I mean, maybe you watch this video. So, okay, well, feel free to make a post on the BitChute forums about whether or not the Holocaust existed. And if you don't want to do a live debate via stream with me, I can also debate you on there, but on a separate post, not in this post, because this isn't what the post was supposed to be about. But apparently, in his opinion, this is what this post should be about. We shouldn't even talk about, in his opinion, we shouldn't even talk about why there are so many Holocaust deniers on here. We should just talk about why the Holocaust didn't happen. So, yeah. That's basically what he's saying here, but I'll read it to you anyway. I don't trust you have any intention of genuinely trying to address this profoundly important matter. Your own choice of thread is entitled, What About People Who Deny the Holocaust? And then you say, this post wasn't meant to be about questioning the existence of the Holocaust. No, of course not. I mean, what's there to misunderstand here? I'm asking the question, what should we do about the many people on here that are denying the Holocaust? That's a question I'm asking, and I'm also giving you the answer. And my answer, I mean, of course, one solution would be to ban them, but that's not the solution I'm proposing. The solution I'm proposing is to use free speech against them, by having a structured debate with them. But of course, as you can see, they're not interested in a structured debate, and they just bring this up here, and as you can see, he's gonna deny the Holocaust. So I'm reading what he says. Uh, oh yeah. Where and when do you want to debate this issue that really needs to be addressed? Well, simply on my channel in a structured debate with equal speaking time, not uh, in a post that wasn't supposed to be about the Holocaust at all. If not here and now on BitChute forums. Well, okay, I can also debate you, like I said, I can also debate you on the BitChute forums, make a separate post questioning the existence of the Holocaust, and I will debate you there. When you were the one that started this thread, yes, but it wasn't supposed to be a thread about denying the Holocaust. It was supposed to be a thread asking the question, what how should we approach the issue of there being so many people on here denying the Holocaust? And apparently, I'm the only one who even seems to have a problem with there being so many people on here denying the Holocaust. Your prime contender to be suspected of being a big sister bullshitter. What the heck is a big sister bullshitter? Whether it's deliberate or otherwise, the song remains the same. You want to take one of the strongest contributors to the BitChute project. He's referring to the original, to the guy who originally replied to me. Because if you look at if you look at the guy who originally replied to me, you can see he even explained that he is a volunteer, though he is not actually an employee. So yes, well, he's not an employee. He makes that clear, but he is actually he's pretty well known, and he's a relatively high profile contributor on BitChute, and he seems to be a volunteer on BitChute. So yeah, so he's making that point. Um, you want to take one of the strongest contributors to the BitChute project and section him off and away from open debate. Well, wasn't open debate what I was proposing? I mean, I even explained that, it's going to be a live stream. You can't edit anything on a live stream, and everyone will get equal speaking time. I mean, isn't that a fair environment? But apparently, in his eyes, this is not a fair environment. But this is sectioning him off and away from open debate. So how is this not an open debate? But okay, well, I of course knew that they weren't gonna take me off on the offer of having an open debate. So they of course they won't say that. Hey, that's precisely what I mean. As you can see, these guys can actually be defeated by free speech, but they actually they like I said, they don't actually thrive in a free speech environment. So if it goes on like that, if there were only people on here that are basically neo Nazis, then it will not stay a free speech environment. You know, they they can't thrive in a free speech environment, and that's why he's not taking me up on my offer. And this offer stands. It will always stand. If you want to debate me on this, anytime, anywhere, anyone, I will do that. No problem. Because I still believe that Nazis can actually be defeated by free speech. And precisely because free speech is not their friend, even though they hide behind free speech to so that they can spread their hate of religious minorities. Um, they they really can't take me up on the offer of actually having a free and open debate, because they know that they will run out of arguments. So he has to decline my offer. But of course, he won't say, well, I'm declining your offer because I will run out of arguments. But of course, he has to say, make up some excuse of why he's declining my offer, and he, basically he's describing my offer of a free and open debate as not being a free and open debate. Well, then what is your idea of a free and open debate? I can also take you up on that offer. If I have a different idea of a free and open debate, sure, I will, as long as it is actually a free and open debate, I will go along with that as well. No problem. Yeah. Mm, you want to take one of the strongest contributors to the BitChute project and section him off and away from open debate, where anything he says can and possibly will be used sooner or later against himself. Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that okay, that is of course an issue. See, on BitChute, when they're spreading this hate, they have a level of anonymity. But if they actually do a live stream with me, they might not have that anonymity. Hey, but don't let that stop you. I realize that some of the things you say might be illegal in a lot of countries, which is also kind of part of the problem that I'm trying to address here. But don't let that stop you. I mean, you can just wear sunglasses or just don't use a camera at all. We can just do it with audio. You don't have to use a camera. And yeah. So anyway, can be used against himself or other people trying to unravel this mysterious conundrum of the Holocaust. The mystery of the Holocaust. Trying to unravel the mystery of the Holocaust. Someone should make a mystery novel about that. Sherlock Holmes and the mystery of the Holocaust. Stifling and avoiding the very same free and open debate that is necessary. I'm not. If you have another idea of a free and open debate, I will go along with that. Whatever is your idea of an open debate, as long as it actually is a free and open debate, we can also use that format. I don't know what your idea is and why, but, no problem. Just drop me a line. I'm guessing you're full of shit. Yeah, see, that's why I'm not afraid of debating any of these people under any circumstances, as long as it is a free and open debate, because, just outright insulting the other guy is a relatively weak argument. So I'm confident that I will win that debate. And yeah, well, that's why he's not going for the debate. And I hope my audience here is smart enough to not go and, oh, he called the other guy names. So the one who calls the other guy's names, that must be the party that's right. Yeah. I don't think that's most people's definition of that, but I'm guessing you're full of shit and none of it's good. Debate us here and now in black and white. Sure. But this is not what this post is about. Just make your own post on the BitChute forums, where you make a post about questioning the Holocaust on the BitChute forums. I will debate you there, no problem. I'm guessing you're full of shit and none of it's good. Debate us here and now in black and white instead of in the moment verbal expression that can be twisted. In the moment verbal expression. Oh, okay. He added his post here. I guess he must have used another insult here, and then later on he realized that, oh yeah, calling me a Jew lover or whatever was originally here was probably going a bit overboard. So he deleted that again. Okay. Instead of expression that can be twisted and converted by linguistic sophistry and systematic trickery into time-wasting, self-serving nonsense. yeah, because uh, not denying the Holocaust is really just a bunch of nonsense. If the events surrounding 11 September 2001 are anything to judge by, if the events of 8 June 1967 are anything to judge by, who's to know what bullshit we've been spoon fed about everything else, including the so called but seemingly exaggerated Holocaust? And then there's the next person replying. He's quoting me. He's quoting where I ask, are you guys really okay with all the neo-Nazi videos slandering Jews and denying the Holocaust? And he answers the question and says, yes, those types of videos are fine with me. That's the whole point behind a free speech platform. So, as you can see, the definition of free speech on here, at least uh, most people, most users on BitChute seem to consent that the definition of free speech is that people are allowed to post videos slandering Jews and denying the Holocaust. That seems to be their definition of free speech. Interesting. So the next reply: the Holocaust is a lie, Nibber. What is Nibber? Was he supposing? Was he trying to? Was he trying to say the N word? I'm not sure. The Holocaust is a lie, Nibber. Mass intentional extermination of Jews never took place. Yeah, sure. That's gonna convince me that this platform isn't full of Holocaust deniers. So then, yeah. Well, yeah. My reply to all that is, yeah. By this point, before those replies, I still had the hope that I was still trying to appeal, um, uh, to to the more moderate people on here. But by this point, I'm realizing that apparently there are no moderate people on here. So I go, oh dear, I really thought this was just a great new decentralized free speech alternative to YouTube that welcomes anyone. And I really thought that. But just judging from the reactions to my post so far, it seems to me that I was very wrong. Yeah, and then it goes on, and it's more posts by Holocaust deniers. And I already addressed the arguments that this guy is bringing here, because he's bringing up the argument I already addressed. Saying that you know slandering Jews never actually hurt anyone. Well, it kind of did. Yeah. So I already addressed that, so I'm not going into that again. And then yeah, and then the final reply, is saying that, well, guess you must have been wrong with your assumption then. And I guess I was wrong with my assumption, and he's confirming that. I guess I must have been wrong in thinking that this is just a free speech platform. And it is a free speech platform, but apparently the definition of free speech on here is very different from the definition I was expecting. Yeah, the definition of free speech on here seems to be uh, that it's okay to slander religious minorities and deny the Holocaust and slander Jews and demonize Jews and use all the same lies that same lies and same slander that actually led to the Holocaust. But of course, since the Holocaust never happened, in their logic, it it then must of course be fine to slander and demonize Jews. So that's their definition of free speech, apparently. And well, yes, I am a bit concerned about that. So, I mean, I will, I will see if you know. Hopefully, I don't know. I was hoping that maybe from someone from the BitChute team, someone who actually works for BitChute, is stepping in here, but so far this hasn't happened. And of course, I don't think they will, because they haven't done anything about the videos either. So I guess the policy of BitChute really seems to be that this this seems to be okay for them. And like I said, I'm not saying you have to delete those videos, um, but you really, you really have to. If you really want this a free speech to be a free speech platform, then you also have, well, you have to enable it to be make it. You have to make it possible for it to actually be a free speech platform for everyone. But the way it seems to be turning out is that it really is becoming a free speech platform, uh, basically for neo-Nazis. And the only people you really seem to be attracting are neo-Nazis. And yeah, and the more you attract neo-Nazis, and the less other people who are not neo-Nazis will want to come. And if you only have neo-Nazis on there at some point, and you're already pretty close to that point, then it's also no longer much of a free speech platform, because, you know, that's why I'm kind of insisting on a debate environment, because in a debate you have one person debating one other person, or of course you can also have two persons debating two other people, but the number of debaters on each side is always equal, and the speaking time they get is always equal. But if you have a platform like BitChute, and it's just filled with videos denying the Holocaust, and it's filled with people who deny the Holocaust, and then there is just like one guy like me who says, well, maybe denying the Holocaust isn't such a good thing. And then I'm up against all the other people, I'm the only one who's voicing objection, that's not a fair environment. So I'm saying, if it goes on like that, um, BitChute will always justify, those neo-Nazi videos and those many neo-Nazis being on here, by saying we are a free speech platform, you know, which is fine. Like I said, you don't have to delete those videos, but you have to enable it. If you really want this, you might be a free speech platform, but if it goes on like this, you will not be a fair free speech platform for everybody, but you will just be a free speech platform for Nazis. And at that point, there is no free speech. Nazis will just slander you. They will not have a fair debate with you. They will not allow you free speech. So at that point, it's also no longer really a free speech platform, or at least it's not a fair free speech platform, but just a free speech platform for neo-Nazis. And I was hoping it wouldn't become that, but judging by the replies I got so far, yeah, it's not looking too good.